Hello, welcome to Landing the Beast, and I'd like to start with I added some things that I painted them in red. Starting with this thing, this is what I call the true AGL sensor, and this is very important for landing a big rocket, which as the center of mass of the rocket changes. I also added a gyroscope here in order to keep it vertical during landing. And I removed the fins because it's impossible to land a rocket with the fins below the center of mass. So let's go. 1.2 seconds, that's almost half the time to full throttle. This is also important for the landing burn. And I'll show the details for why I put in these things in the visit program. So this program can land any rocket, any size, any TWR, whatever it is. This visit program can take it safely to the ground and smooth, as you are going to see now. "22" and it's now 21.2 because some fuel was consumed. This is so the TWR now is 1.9 here, and I'm focusing on this lower part just to show the touchdown. Now that smoke is going to clear in a bit. The throttle now is 100%, and gradually it's going to reduce to smooth down the deceleration of the rocket. And this smoothing down is very important in high TWR. And here it comes, slowly, slowly, slowly. Touchdown, and then shut off. So here is the sensor, and let me show you what I have inside. It just you're gonna see it now. So I'm opening the doors. It just, what do you call it? A fairing? Yeah, fairing. And inside it, there's a tiny command chip. Now I measure the distance from that command chip to the center of mass, and that gives me the exact height from the ground as the. Now let's go to the program. So this is the program, and it does looks like a beast, since it takes a beast to land a beast. So it's just 4 parts. Not all of them are necessary. So this part, TW for next burn, this is just to indicate the TWR for the rocket before every burn. And then here we have the engine full thrust time, runs once only, control overrides until full throttle is achieved. So once you hit throttle, it will put throttle to 1 and calculate the time from the input of 1 or 100% throttle until it reaches the maximum engine thrust. That's around 2 seconds for this rocket, and I need only 0.26 of that time for my calculations. And this part is the altitude manager. So I won't go into this before I start here in the main program, landing burn. Wait 0.5 seconds. Target node, name of the craft, which is in this case simple rocket N, and add to it -2 or -2. So that's the target. And in fact, the the command chip that I showed you is not attached to the rocket. It just placed in that what do you call it? In that fairing, just placed in there. So then the program treats it as another craft, or a part that is not attached to the craft. So come to the altitude manager. So that command chip became a target and subtracted target position from the craft position and give me the length. So that's the distance. That command chip is 7 meters above the ground. So whatever the distance from your center of mass to the command chip, you add to it 7 meters, you get the exact height of the landing legs on the ground, or relative to the ground. Oh, sorry, it's the height on pad. Now the program here, it starts when the rate of climb or the vertical speed is -2, and then I have the trigger line. I forget about this. This just because if you are in fast mode, at a certain point it will set it to normal. So that's the trigger line, and the trigger here is the speed. If the speed exceeds a certain amount, then the burn should start. But the problem is the burn takes 2 seconds until it starts. So I add the t plus the vertical velocity, because after say 1 second, the velocity will increase by the amount of acceleration. If you're not accelerating, then it will be 0. If you're in vacuum and totally accelerating, then it will be the acceleration, not the gravity. So that's why I need the time, because if I start the burn exactly on that moment without this t, then I'm not going to have enough time to stop. I need to start the burn a little bit earlier, around half the time of the time where the engine takes to reach maximum throttle. This here just to display the TWR and the altitude when the burn started. And then this is the landing burn. I have two lines for the landing burn. If the rate of descent is greater than 0.8 meters, then it functions the main line. And if we are in kind of hovering state, then it will put only the throttle of hovering plus 0.8, so that the rocket can get down. Now, as you saw here, the T was a little bit more than half the time. I think I need just half of the time, but this tiny fraction of extra time will give me more time to have burn. I start assuming that my speed is 1.2. That's why the throttle is exaggerated in the initial point. But later, the vertical speed drops, the value of the vertical speed drops, and this multiplication doesn't affect it when it's 0, so it's all 0. In fact, this one combined with a little bit extra time before the designated burn time, both of them together, they give me the combination of the full throttle and then gradual throttle. Then when grounded, the cycle will be broken, and then the throttle will be set to 0. So yeah, I think that's it about the program and the landing gear. Thank you for watching.